Today we're going to be doing a review on a movie exclusively on Netflix for now, and it is called The Platform. I'm going to take an attempt and try to say the names of these people who are the actors and directors of this film, because it is a Spanish release, and I'm not going to really do too good. I do know it is directed by
Blah.
this dude. I can't. I'm not gonna Glatter Gats Lutz. This dude.
Burrita.
Yeah, Urethra. We'll show a picture of him because it's just too hard to do. It is written by David De Sola and Pedro Rivero. See, easy. I could say that.
Yeah, good job.
And the main actors of the show is a guy by the name of Ivan Magasque. I think that's how I'm saying it correctly. Another actor, Zorion El Ega, whatever him. I'm not really doing that good. And another actress by the name of Antonia San Juan. And that is all I'm going to attempt to do today because these names are just
And you're just
hard.
killing it. You're loving it. It's just
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm not going to do any more. But that's what it is. So those are the actors, directors, and writers of the film, and it is a science fiction horror thriller. And what say you, Jose? What did you think of this?
Definitely on the science fiction part, more or less horror, more or less gore horror, I suppose. This film came out at the various film festivals, and it was something of a little miniature hit in that realm. But instead of digging into that, let's dig into the nature of the film, the plot per se. Is there really a plot, actually?
I would say there was.
I guess you're talking about a prison, 300 plus floors, with two people per floor.
Right.
And most of these people who sort of volunteer, some volunteer, for instance, some of the characters volunteer to go to this prison to get their school loans eliminated or to get a college degree, just like our main character.
Our main character, right.
Yeah, he wants to get a college degree, so he's willing to spend a year in this 300 floor prison, which seems to be a waste of resources, if you ask me.
I thought he was only there for a couple of months.
Okay, correct me. Couple months.
I mean, I don't
maybe.
know. I don't remember, but I thought he was there for a shorter period of time than his supposed cellmate.
His murderer cellmate.
His murderer cellmate, yeah.
Right. So they spend a period of time in this prison, and if they live, they get their desires. And he wanted his college education or what have you, a degree for spending time in the prison. I don't remember what the degree was, but anyway.
Yeah, he didn't say what the degree would be in.
Yeah, the whole film is a social statement about the haves and the have-not. Do you disagree with me?
No, that I could agree with. And I know when I was trying to do this whole piece on my own, that was one of the areas I did not cover as well as I would like to, but because I thought it had some depth in the tale, which is why I didn't see the science fiction part per se.
Well, it delves into the idea of these people are above you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to listen to you because they're quote unquote rich or have it all.
Right.
And then there are those people are below you who have less than you do. So you kind of feel like one of the rich guys, that you're part of the gang, Don't talk to the people below you. They're not worth your time. I'm going to spit on you, or in the film, crap on you. And, that tells the story.
Right.
In the center of this building is a massive table, I guess.
Or a platform.
A platform, yes, I should say that. That's covered in food. And the food comes from the top floor. I think it's 333, right?
To be exact, yes.
And it goes slowly down to each level. And everybody gets to eat as much as they want for a period of time. as the food goes down.
Right.
Okay? And there's less and less food as they eat it up. And some people gorge on the food because they're at a higher level. And by the time it gets to the bottom, well, there's no food. And you're literally starving to death.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
and like on the 100th floor, there's probably no food left. And lo and behold, if you're on the 12th floor, you're just dead, right?
Yeah.
I think
sure.
each group of two people actually spend a month on each floor, and they randomly change to another floor.
Yes,
like
randomly.
Our heroes will, or if you want to call them heroes, will be on the 300th floor, but next month they'll be on the 178th floor. So they have to make changes and realize, where they are and everything.
What do we know about the company, or because there's a system in the company? They actually named the company, and I forgot the name of it. I swear it was called the Vertical something of another. What do we know about that company and its purpose?
Well, from what I gather, it's a system that is representative throughout the country, whatever country they happen to be in, or even perhaps the world. This is a system that's sort of like the purge is legal and gets done across the world.
Okay.
I mean, does it make any sense? To me, no. Does it make any sense at all?
Right, no.
But if such a thing exists, I think people would actually do something like that.
Right.
You know? There's a woman in the film. She's part of the administration. But she seems actually part of the system.
Yes.
That she's actually taking part in the system. She's no head of anything. I mean, because there's... if you want to look at symbolism, you could say there's always somebody above you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Even the administrator and things like that. You've got the people on the top floor, the cookers, the chefs, who make all the food. And you got the bigwig, the guy who makes sure the food goes down the platform.
Yeah, the head chef.
Yeah, he seems to be in charge of something, but it turns out that he actually isn't.
Okay.
And our cellmate, our cell people, are trying to show these groups in the building that there needs to be a change. But then again, you ask yourself why they get themselves in that situation in the beginning.
In the beginning, right.
Like I said, some of them volunteered.
Interesting show. So the woman who, I do remember the lady who was the part of the system, and she actually becomes a cell mate to somebody. I forgot who she becomes a cellmate to. I think the main character. Did she volunteer herself, or did she get placed there? Did she do? I don't remember.
She volunteers herself. She represents sort of like a upper class who gets put in this situation, but she's been around and she knows how to exploit the system.
Right.
But it takes its toll on her as well. Of course. As you know, that each character in the film gets to take one item with them into their imprisonment.
Yes.
Like our main character, let's get his name.
Wait, hold on.
Oh my goodness. Goring.
Goring, right.
Yeah.
Goring.
Played. Do you remember what he takes?
He takes a book.
Yes. And his cellmate takes a knife because he was like a murderer, right? Yes. And one woman takes a dog.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, because we know how that turns out.
We know how that turned out, right? Right. Okay.
Obviously, because people are starving. What do you expect in that situation?
Massive giveaway. But, I mean, yes, people are starving, so a dog doesn't have a good ending in this story. And should we talk about the lady who appears every month on everybody's floor mysteriously? Should we
I don't
talk
know.
about her or should we not talk about her? Because
Talk about her.
I didn't get the actress's name, but of course, by the time I put this up, we will have her name. And I don't remember the character she played, her name, but she was a woman who was also placed in the prison cell system, and she appears on everybody's floor on the platform at least once a month,
Oh, you're
trying to
talking
find
about the
her child.
Japanese character Maharu,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
who is trying to take care of this girl, or
Yes.
what they told our two main characters, this girl at the bottom floor.
Right. Right. So
She changes the whole dynamics of the building, and our main character, Goring, decides that he wants to change the system.
yes.
And he wants to manage the food. So they go on a battle tirade, I guess. And they're actually, correct me if I'm wrong, going down the platform, managing the food for each floor.
Yes.
And they're hoping at least some food will get to the bottom floor, that they can change how people operate and how people think.
Yeah.
But you learn that that's not possible.
No. It was a very tough task.
Not only does Goring and Maharu and the other character, let me get that name. What the hell was his name?
Which character? The
black
his
guy.
cellmate?
The black guy.
Oh, I forgot his name too.
I think is Trimagasi.
I thought Teramagasi was the cellmates with the knife.
Cellmate.
It was the old guy.
Was it Baharat?
You know better than I do. I don't remember his name, but we will find out the name for sure. But I do. Teramagasi was the first cellmate to Gorin, and then the black guy disappears out of nowhere.
Right, you're correct. And the black fellow, the black actor was Baharat.
Okay, so
and he
I'll
traveled.
find out who he is.
Baharat traveled down the elevator with them to enact justice on the rest of the building.
Yes.
And they fought, bloody fight. Reminds me of that film, the British film. Nope. South Korean film, The Raid. So,
yes, I remember that movie. Yes.
You know, they fought nonstop to try and kill on the way. Maharu, who rides down the platform every month, she manages to stay alive. But, fighting that many prisoners over such a long period of time gets overwhelming.
Of course.
And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. But there's nothing but violence, little food, and death in the end.
And death, right. But see, I saw the movie to be more thriller-based because it does open up your brain to understand what is the message in the story. Of course, the blood and stuff and body parts for its horror. I just didn't see the science fiction part in it.
Well, the background, the story was the science fiction part, I guess. More fantasy sort of thing, where you're talking about these 330 level. It reminds me of Snowpiercer.
Oh, that movie, which I didn't particularly like.
Does that make any sense, having a train travel throughout the world in a freezing world?
No.
But this tall 333-story building doesn't make any sense as well.
That's true.
And their processes about going about things just don't make any sense. But that's more the fantasy science fiction part.
Okay. I can swallow that.
You're excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Your suspension of disbelief. You have to go with it.
I'll live with that. I can live with that part because I didn't see it that way. Because Snowpiercer bothered me because a train doesn't travel around the world like that.
Well,
But
don't get into that. But,
okay,
but the ending of the film.
which I don't think we should give.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell anybody.
Okay.
We all know that this movie's based on the system and how the system is flawed, and how the top, in the bottom, and you're in the middle thinking you're the top, and how bad you treat everybody else.
Right.
But in the end, they prove a point, though it's quite vague. We don't see what happens to our protagonists, but it's kind of hinted that something happens to them. I won't say what.
Yeah, I won't say what either.
But we see our Maharu, who reaches the bottom and has some visions and things like that. You could tell she in the end, they send a message to the top floor.
Right.
Right?
I did like that. I don't want to even give it away, but I did like the idea on the message, because I won't say what the message is.
Well, you can say that the message to the top floor is that even though most people are greedy, there are some people who are actually willing to show generosity.
I guess that's a great message. Because at one point, I like the way you said it, because at one point I wasn't sure. Without saying the line, I thought they were also trying to say something slightly religious. I thought there was a religious overtone with the message. But for those folks who do not know what we're talking about, by all means watch it and see if that point comes across. Was it more of a religious overtone or a political overtone, or maybe a bit of both?
I think it was more of a political overtone.
Okay.
It sort of proves the message between the has and the has not. I mean, it's open to interpretation.
True.
But that's how I see it. Goring is trying to change the system with his partner Barat. I think they failed, but they managed to send a message. Will that message get through? Do the people at the top understand it? That's up for debate.
I don't know. I don't know. Like you said, it's up for interpretation, and I think the way it ends, you're left to come up with your own conclusions.
Yeah. Overall, you see that people are suffering. They're suffering everywhere. They're suffering at the top. They're suffering at the bottom. It's just suffering. And I think one part of in the movie, they say that rarely anybody escapes or leaves like they're supposed to. No one gets their gifts. It's all a fantasy. Nobody gets anything in the end because most people die. If anybody actually survives.
Right.
It's about governments, I guess, and rich, the top 1%, and things like that.
Well, according to the director's point, there was supposed to be this struggle between ideologies, political ideologies, and religious ideologies and stuff like that. So I guess he's showing, as you say, nobody really wins except for the elite, and those underneath are supposed to just kind of suffer and so forth and so on. And I guess that point is well established in this confine of this world that he creates. And again, up for interpretation for those who see it. I like the original name. I don't know if you know, but the original name of the movie was not The Platform. In Spanish, it was El Hoyo, which stands for the hole, which seems to be a little bit more befitting. But at first I didn't understand why would they change it from the hole to the platform, because I think their focus was not so much on the hole as it was on the platform that descends.
The platform was a central part of the whole thing.
Yeah. So it kind of made sense. I usually don't like when they change names sometimes from foreign films to something else. But this one is a pass. This one's a pass.
What do you mean a pass?
Well, I like the name. I like the name. I didn't have a problem with the
Okay.
changing of the name, so I
Yeah.
thought that was fine.
Overall, it was to me one giant allegory. It's kind of hard for me to figure out what it is, but maybe God at the top or the government at the top. I think I'll probably need to re-watch it again.
I feel like I want to rewatch it myself.
The deep meaning to it. Yeah, that's it. It's a recommend, I think.
It is a recommend.
So yeah, I think that the entire film was built around politics or political structure. You had the administration, top floor.
Right.
You had your social classes, which were the platforms. If you disobeyed the rules, they turned up the heat on you, literally.
Right. Or freeze you.
The people at the bottom got the hand-me-downs or the leftovers, kind of like society.
Right.
The punishments appeared to be temperature, climate control, stuff like that, which you could say is the government kind of thing. Ethics and morals. You think in that kind of situation, your ethics and morals would go out the window. And they do in the film. They go out the window. So,
yes.
What can you say? Is it religiously allegory in the film?
I found some. I definitely found some, and the child that is discovered eventually kind of symbolizes that religious overtone, because they do ask questions, weird questions like, do you believe in God? And at the time I didn't quite understand why they would even ask that question, but of course you have to pay attention to see where this is going. They just don't say lines just to say it. It has to do with everything. So they're covering politics, religion, and well, those are the two things that they're covering. They don't really cover science per se. It's either you believe in the system or you believe in God. And if you believe in God, how does the system and you intertwine? And the child, in a sense, again, without giving away too much, I think represents some part of the religion or the spirituality or whatever the case is.
I think our main character, Goring, represents the biblical Jesus in a way.
God, kinda.
He
I never thought about that.
Himself
but
at the end.
For sure.
Tries to save everyone, not just the girl or the two girls.
Yes.
He wanted to change the system, and he sacrificed everything for it.
Yes.
Though, question is, I don't know why you would go into that kind of system in the first place to change anything. But whatever.
You're not going to succeed, right? And I thought the black guy's character, whatever his name was, I feel bad, I don't remember his name. But
Baharat.
he definitely, when he came on the scene, he definitely
Baharat.
was supposed to represent the change from another perspective, and he joins forces with Goring. And then they pursue this battle, this black guy and this white guy. I mean, there's something to be seen there as well. He's not just placed there out of by choice. And some of the religious overtones start to come when he appears. He says, like, if you help me out, you'll get everlasting great reward from God, I suppose. I mean, those are statements that Christians say. And he represents that theory because he makes these statements. But he, like anybody else, is trying to survive. And again, we know how the story goes without saying anything. I implore people to watch it because I don't want to give away anything.
Watch it.
So,
watch it. But close out.
So I think pretty much that's it, folks. It's a release that you could actually now go and watch on Netflix. It's called The Platform. Get ready to do some reading if you're not into the subtitle stuff. You might be able to see it and change the you might be able to get a dub version. We both saw a dubbed version, so less reading for us to do because we're illiterate. And I think you guys will enjoy it. It was doable for me. I liked it. And I might actually watch it again just to see if I missed anything. But it's definitely, if you're into those brain-like movies, this might be one for you. I say go and watch it.